The problem with not understanding Bible prophecy and the events that are taking place during Daniel's 70th week is that it causes us to use many verses out of context. When we don't understand a prophetic passage, it is best if we view that whole section in context, so there is no confusion about its placement on God's prophetic timeline. But sadly, most scriptures that prophecy teachers use to show a pre-trib rapture are actually mid-trib scenes. This is a big problem that we need to get to the bottom of. Let's look at a verse from Luke 17 that is quite often used out of context by many prophecy teachers. It's the verses right after Luke 17:33 that they use as a pre-tribulation rapture proof. Luke 17:34 through 36. I tell you, on that night there will be two in one bed, one will be taken and the other will be left. There will be two women grinding at the same place. One will be taken and the other will be left. Two men will be in the field. One will be taken and the other will be left. So then, how can we use these verses as a pre-trib rapture when we have just concluded that this is a mid-trib scene? These verses are indeed talking of a rapture. However, it's after seeing that this is a mid-tribulation scene is when we can begin to see that the church is raptured at mid-trib, or halfway through Daniel's 70th week, and not prior to it. Right after this mid-trib rapture of the church is when the remnant, the ones who missed the pre-trib and the mid-trib rapture, are warned to flee, which was being explained to them in Luke 17, right before the verse in Luke that we've been studying, verse 33. So it's Luke 17:31. On that day, the one who will be on the housetop with his goods in the house must not go down to take them out. And likewise, the one in the field must not turn back. You can now see the transition in Revelation 12, verses 13 and 14. The dragon then turns his focus to the remnant and persecutes them because the church is gone. Revelation 12, verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was thrown down to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the man-child. The man-child here is the church, not Jesus like tradition has taught. The church is always mentioned as children in scripture or children of the bride chamber. They are the ones that were delivered or rescued in Daniel 12:1. Looking at it again, in that time thy people shall be delivered or rescued. Everyone that was found written in the book. Revelation 12:16 through 17. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and drank up the river which the dragon had hurled out of his mouth. Verse 17. So the dragon was enraged with the woman and went off to make war with the remnant of her children who keep the commandments of God and hold to the testimony of Jesus. This is a time of great persecution by the beast system, but the remnant will be snatched or translated into the Father's barn before the day of the Lord. They will be preserved, given a healed body, and will repopulate the earth during Christ's millennial reign. If you're now saying that you too have been using these verses out of context, don't beat yourself up. We are all learning together. None of us have it all figured out, but there are many of us who are learning how to put the prophecy pieces in the right location. We cannot continue to use these verses out of context, which only create more confusion around the topic of Bible prophecy. We need to be learning continuously and let Scripture interpret Scripture. These traditions have really stuck, and it's time to rip them off.